Hey guys, Mari Sonoma here, and I decided that with the big hype that's been going on with the Pokemon X and Y coming out and everybody just having a ball with that, I would go ahead and start my commentary on different video games and all that. And what better way to start than with Pokemon? But I'm not going to start with Pokemon X and Y. No, I am going to go to the beginning with Pokemon Generation 1, the Kanto region. Now, before I start with my commentary on Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, or Red and Blue and Green, I'm going to just state that I started with 3rd gen. So I didn't play the original Red, Blue, or Golden Crystal and um, Silver. However, I did play Yellow and I did play Crystal. But I didn't play Red, Blue, and all those. So my perspective comes from playing Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Heart Gold and Soul Silver when it comes to those two generations. Another thing I would like to point out is that these are my opinions, and I would love to hear your opinions as well, to see if you think that I missed something, because with the first two generations I'm obviously am going to. But with the, but I want to hear your opinions. So with those things stated right in the open, let's go ahead and start with Generation 1. Now with each of these generations there are three things that I'm going to focus on. The trainer concept, for instance the designs of the character sprite or the gym leaders in the Elite Four. The second thing I'm going to focus on is the Pokemon themselves. Their drawing, like what they look like, their abilities, how well that they came up with them, and all that jazz. And then third is obviously going to be the story. Story is very important in any video game, so obviously I have to focus on that. So first I'm going to start with the character designs. Obviously these guys were the first of the first. They literally started this off. So of course the games Red and Blue had the most famous Pokemon trainer of all time, Red. Now, Red is not bad in character design for a first-time Pokemon character. Of course, when he was first created in Red and Blue, his sprite really wasn't that detailed. You could really just tell he had a hat and a jacket and legs. But as time goes on, you get to see him in Gold and Silver, and then you see him again in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And by the time we get to Heart Gold and Soul Silver, his design is really obvious, and it's actually really, really well done for being back from Game Boy Color days. The gym leaders, they are pretty much spot on for what they do. Brock is a darker tone to go with his rocks. Misty's a swimmer. Lieutenant Surge has that power that people think of when they think of electricity. Erica's got that calm, serene look. When you think of plants, you think of a forest. And really just every trainer is spot on. So for Pokemon design, for character design in Pokemon Generation 1, I give them a 9 out of 10. So really, they really are the first, and they really did set the bar with their designs. Next are the Pokemon themselves. Now I did give them a relatively high score in this, but I'm just going to say that if you dare say that a Pokemon in the newer generations are not too original, then might I remind you that we had Voltorb in this. We had Magnemite. We literally had a Pokeball, a Magnet, and then there's Grimer and Muck. Just a bunch of slime. Just saying. I'm not dissing those Pokemon because I really love electric types, and Muck and Grimer do have their uses. They're very good. Now the Pokemon that I will say that got this Pokemon game a high score are Pokemon such as the legendaries, Moltres, Zapdos, Articuno, Mew, Mewtwo. And then there are Pokemon such as the starters, which are very well drawn out. They are very well thought of. And there are other Pokemon such as Ninetales, there's Arcanine. There's all these Pokemon that have beautiful concepts, and really for a starting game that didn't have that great of an artwork, they did really well with these Pokemon. So for them, I give them a 9 out of 10 for their artwork. Next is the story. Now, if you haven't played, you're a character who just turned 10. You get your first Pokemon from Professor Oak, and you're pretty much just sent on a journey to fill up the Pokedex for him. Along the way, you've decided, hey, I'm going to take on the Gym Trainer Challenge, which is pretty much something that a lot of trainers would do. So that's pretty much the start of every single Pokemon game so far, except for X and Y. However, along the way, you come up against multiple times this team called Team Rocket, and you thwart their plans every single time. And before you even get to the 8th gym, if I remember correctly, you go up against Giovanni, the leader of Team Rocket, and also the 8th gym leader. Now, Giovanni is a really interesting character, in my opinion. He's probably one of the best villains in a Pokemon game. And he's the reason his is the reason I scored this game so high, because it's really the first, so it has a lot to improve on. Giovanni is probably one of the few Pokemon villains to ever see that what he was doing was wrong and just stop. He pretty much told the team, we are done. I am not good enough to lead you guys. What I'm doing is wrong. We're going to stop. Team Rocket's disbanded. He is literally probably the first team member to actually disband his team by his own choice. And that says a lot for the Pokemon franchise, that they would show that a villain can learn from his mistakes. So, for storyline, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10, to give this a whopping 28 out of 30 points. Now, if you disagree with me on any of these, then just let me know, because I would love to read your comments. I would love to read what you think, or what you think I got wrong, what you think is missing from this, or if you think I could have scored, or if I scored too high. Just let me know. And obviously, next time will be second generation. So I hope you all enjoyed.